The problem with the goal of going to medical school in a building with apartments rented by a mental health organization, having had chordoma in my skull, my brain, pushing into my pituitary gland, giving me double vision, and all the way back to my pons, my brainstem, disrupting fluid flow downwards now. And having mild autistic difficulties, exasperated in Seattle now with socialism and communism and activism and the black bloc of broken windows, graffitied businesses, and economics, less important than climate change and Mr. Governor Jay Inslee's face mask now. And being stopped repeatedly from thinking slow, solving problems with engineering, with a voice and a whisper and a very quiet talking, speaking from a neighbor next door. My mom had a brain aneurysm that ruptured, hemorrhaged. She was in ICU for 2 months, had brain surgery, and now has symptoms involving dementia. And I often talk with my mom to have her brain less sedated, watching Hallmark movies and picking out a Hallmark card to send me now. And what's so tragic and disrupting about timing passively noticed and easily solved has to do with the fast thinking of talking, social, fast, talking, and the disgusting and creepy, nasty, and horrific noise when sound stops, thinking slows, hallucinations begin, and religious freedom to visualize no longer makes sense. Tibetan Buddhists use slow thinking for compassion, helping elders. But unfortunately, I'm talking about a human who's younger than me now. Who's using their strategies and tactics to dominate. And no matter how hard I try to put my headphones on, my earplugs in, hide under my desk, bury my head in my toilet, and vomit from my dizziness, they don't stop. They don't pause. And whatever has caused this process I describe now has no goal, no dream, no aspiration, no optimism, no inspiration, no ideas, except stimulation, hallucination, and the reward they receive from their dominance with their art and culture of banging drums in the middle of the night saying devil, 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 and their friends screaming out loud, Hail Hitler, in their home, for everyone in the building to hear now. Fast, fast, quick. Whew. Slow. And they voice and they guide those who are unfortunate to be their neighbor. Within their mystery now, going back and forth 365 days until the 366th day when they need to take their trash out and go buy some more non-perishable foods, undoubtedly. Now, and when I moved into my apartment, nobody had any worry, any concerns, other than she's a woman who's gender neutral, and I am a man who says, I am male. And within those conditions, those parameters and those limits, she escapes, goes back to her delusional psychosis. And I must figure out how to avoid her timing and intentional choices to disrupt me as a neighbor, or theoretically and hypothetically, she can't stop her process and needs to use her voice from the emotion she has when thinking slows down. But, however, emotion, interfering with emotion, has to do with a person who has lost touch with world, who has lost touch with consciousness, and has gotten addicted and obsessed with their neurons, their brain, their anatomy, their mind, and what they see inside of their skull when they reach their cerebral cortex. And see a forest where they have a family of snakes and a house they built from the materials they gathered in their brain now. Talking and talking and talking, and not allowing those who share a building with apartments to not feel creeped out by some voyeur, seemingly, who doesn't explain and who has never attempted to say to neighbors, other than banging a wall, hitting a hammer, they can't stop what they're doing. And what they're doing has not a gosh darn heck to do with anyone else. A beginning, in other words, for them to receive some kind of assistance, treatment, medical information about the suffering they're causing, not only for them and their body and their brain, but for those who have nowhere else to move and live, and who must suffer in confusion, not knowing, are they intentionally sharing their thought process to psychically connect to their neighbors, to shamanically give them magic? And psychedelic daydreams now. A man doing what a woman does now has to do with schizophrenia. Men don't do what this woman has done and continues to do now. But a woman does what she does and succeeds with a gender or not. Walking, talking, and doing, visually using what's denied as no longer necessary to be discussed about humans, and about as worthless as waking up in the morning. Now,